As I understand it, Xavier will require students, faculty, and staff to be vaccinated before you return this fall. What led you to implement this requirement? Cut on your mic if you will.
We've learned many things through a pandemic. We have really optimized what we were able to do remotely when we had to be fully remote. We also learned that our students benefit from the collegial interactions not only with their faculty and with their peers, the need to be in their laboratories, and the in-person interactions were very important for our students. We have an opportunity with the vaccines that now we know that vaccines protect individuals significantly who are vaccinated. That we can return, if we have maximally vaccinated our campus, we can return to full in-person activity. Xavier produces more African Americans who go on to doctoral programs in the life sciences and physical sciences, and has been doing that for decades. To do that, they have to be in laboratories, they have to play and practice at being scientists, the same way a historian practices being a historian in the archives or a musician in the conservatory. So being in person is very important for the success of our students. Vaccination will allow us to do that, so that we are asking that all students be vaccinated and also of all employees be vaccinated. We're also allowing for the exceptions that the law requires. But in doing so, we also have to make sure that we also do not allow those who are not vaccinated to be a danger to those because of whatever medical reasons cannot be protected by the vaccines. There's a small percentage of people who will not be immune. Protection means that we do not expose them to others who can infect them. Therefore, we would have to have special conditions for those who cannot be vaccinated on campus for safety reasons.
Yeah, you have a unique background because you're an immunologist, I guess, by practicing.
By experience, training, and also research, yes.
You're a university president. Help us understand how you explained this policy to your faculty, to your students, to their parents.
Well, I can tell you that we've had conversations because many people have questions. We have to respond to their questions. For example, even in the early days when I and my colleague at Dillard University, we were both in one of the clinical trials. There was something like, how could you actually give the example of encouraging people to be in clinical trials? And we explained to them, we had to have meetings and explain to them why it was important that some people, 0.1% of the population, have to be in the trials so that others can benefit. And therefore, old men like me have to roll up their sleeves. So we explained that.
What advice would you give other colleges and universities as they plan for the fall and they're faced with the decisions that you've been faced with and you've made? What would be your advice to them?
Tell the truth, have venues to answer people's questions, let them know what we are facing. For example, one of the simple facts is that, and Washington State is a clear example, Washington State published the data for the death rates of unvaccinated versus vaccinated people. It allows you to make a simple calculation. The algebra is quite simple. That allows you to see that basically the risk of death for unvaccinated people is about 17 to 20 times higher than for vaccinated people. Anything like that to explain to people that here, this is a very risk. We will begin to see, especially with a new variant like the Delta variant coming ashore, much more transmissible, the unvaccinated people will suffer a great toll. So we have to tell people the truth to explain that we are here to protect you. The other piece that we have at Xavier, because of our charism, what I say is that we were founded by St. Catherine Drexel with a mission to serve not just the nation, but also each other. So the conversation is that we do not want to be a risk to each other. So in other words, you are doing this so as not to endanger your neighbor. That mentality reverses the notion that is purely what's in it for me.
It has shocked me through this pandemic and through the transition that higher ed has gone through, that it seems that the faculty members that fought pre-pandemic online education as a new avenue are the ones today that only want to teach online. What a transformation we've gone through. But I commend you and the other institutions that have looked at the challenge in front of us and designed a structure to go forward. And I think it truly is because you're focused on your customer, which is the student out there and the value of what they get from Xavier or from any other school. I thank all of our witnesses. Thank you, Madam Chairman.